Minus 96 degrees, the edge of the world, where winter doesn't visit, it lives. Somewhere in this frozen silence, a cabin breathes. Thin smoke, the only sign of life for 30 kilometers. Inside, a woman sits by a fire she's kept burning for 40 years. Her name is Nadezhda. She is 76 years old. Her husband built this cabin. He died 11 winters ago. She stayed. She lives alone. The nearest village is 15 kilometers through forest. In winter, it might as well be 1,000. Every night, she banks the fire, checks the door latch, listens to the wind. Tonight, the wind is different, louder, angrier. The walls groan. She adds extra wood. Tonight will be a long one. Then a sound, not wind, something hitting the door. Heavy, slow. Again, louder. Something is leaning against her door. Nadezhda reaches for the axe by the stove. In Siberia, you don't open doors to strangers. She takes the axe, steps toward the door, puts her ear against the frozen wood. Breathing, deep, labored, an animal, a large one. She should walk away, bar the door, wait for morning. But something in that breathing, it sounds like pain, like something dying. She unlatches the door. The wind hits her like a wall. And there, on her doorstep,
Misha, please,
a bear, a Siberian brown bear,
my dear boy, what have
collapsed,
they done to you?
bleeding. A bear, in December. It should be hibernating. Something is very wrong. She should be terrified. 300 kilograms of wounded predator at her feet. But Nadezhda has lived 76 winters. She knows pain when she sees it, in any creature. She sets down the axe, picks up the kerosene lamp, and kneels in the snow. She touches its fur, thick, still warm underneath, still alive. The wound, a steel trap, poachers. The jaws bit deep into its hindquarter.
Come on, Misha.
She can't carry a
Just
bear.
a little further.
She can barely carry firewood, but she can't leave it here to die. Nadezhda speaks, to herself, to the bear, to the storm. Come on then, we need to get you inside. It takes her 40 minutes. 40 minutes in minus 96 degrees. Pulling, resting, pulling. She pulls it across the threshold. The bear's body fills half her cabin. She kicks the door shut, collapses against the wall, can't move. For 5 minutes she just breathes. The bear breathes, the storm screams, but they're inside. She forces herself up, lights the second lamp. The bear needs help, now. She heats water, tears strips from an old bedsheet, finds her husband's veterinary book. Her husband was a veterinarian. He taught her everything. She hasn't used those skills in 11 years. She kneels beside the bear, 300 kilos of muscle, teeth, and claws. And she's going to clean its wound. She cleans the wound. The bear stirs, grunts, but doesn't attack. It's too weak, or it understands. She sews 12 stitches, by hand, with a darning needle. The bear shivers, but holds still. She bandages the wound, wraps cloth around its massive leg. Her entire sheet, gone. She covers the bear with her only spare blanket, an animal that could kill her in one swipe. She tucks in the edges. She makes herself tea, sits in her chair, and watches the bear breathe. For the first time in months, she speaks aloud. Don't you dare die in my house. She doesn't sleep that night. She watches, adds wood, checks the bandage, waits. Morning. The bear is still alive. Its breathing is stronger. Its eye opens, dark brown, intelligent. It looks directly at Nadezhda. She freezes. This is the moment. If the bear panics, she dies in her own cabin. The bear looks at her, at the bandage, at the blanket, then lowers its head and sighs. Nadezhda exhales. She didn't know she'd been holding her breath. She names the bear before noon. Misha. It's what she called her husband. She melts snow for water, offers it in a shallow pan. The bear drinks, weakly, but it drinks. Day 1 passes. The bear sleeps. Nadezhda tends. The storm rages. And for the first time in years, the cabin doesn't feel empty. Day 2. Nadezhda changes the bandage. The bleeding has stopped. The stitches hold. She cooks dried fish on the stove. Eats half. Puts the other half near Misha's nose. By day 3, the bear can lift its head. It watches her move around the cabin, following her with dark eyes. She talks to it constantly now, about the weather, about her husband, about the price of firewood. She tells Misha about her daughter, lives in Moscow, calls once a month in summer, not in winter, can't reach her. Day 4. Misha stands, shakily, all 4 legs trembling, but standing. Standing, the bear's head nearly touches the ceiling. It is enormous, and it's standing in her living room. It takes 1 step, then another, then collapses back down. But it moved. It's recovering. Nadezhda's firewood supply is running low. She's been burning more, keeping the cabin warm enough for 2. She'll need to go outside, to the woodpile under the lean-to, in minus 96 degrees. She layers everything she owns, shawl over shawl, and opens the door. The cold hits like a physical blow. She can feel her face freezing in seconds. She loads her arms with birch logs, as many as she can carry. Her hands are already numb. She makes it back inside, drops the wood, slams the door, can barely feel her fingers. Misha watches her. As she warms her hands by the stove, his dark eyes never leave her. A week passes. Misha grows stronger. Nadezhda grows less alone. The wound is closing. Misha walks around the cabin, all 12 feet of floor space. He owns the room. 2 weeks now. The bandage comes off for good. A scar, but healed. Misha wants outside. He paces, scratches at the door. The instinct to roam is returning. She opens the door for him. He steps outside for the first time, into the white. He stands in the snow, lifts his nose, smells the frozen air, then turns and looks at her. He comes back inside, not ready to leave, or choosing not to. Each day now he goes out, longer each time, but always comes back. Nadezhda finds fish outside her door, frozen solid. Misha brought them from the river. A wild bear is bringing her food. The impossible is already happening. She cooks the fish, gives Misha the larger portion. He eats at her feet while she eats in her chair. 3 weeks. The wood supply is critically low. She needs more, much more. She'll have to go deep into the forest, to where the standing dead trees are. Alone. She opens the door. Misha blocks it. All 300 kilos of him, standing in her way. She pushes. He doesn't move. She argues. He blinks. He won't let her go alone. She gives up, sits on the bed, crosses her arms. Fine, we go together then. They step out together. An old woman and a brown bear, walking into the taiga, side by side. In the forest, Misha breaks trail through chest-deep snow. She walks behind him. She finds a dead standing larch, points at it, begins to chop. The tree falls. She sections it. Misha sniffs each cut piece like a foreman. She loads wood onto a rope drag, can barely pull it. Then something extraordinary happens. The bear pushes the wood, with his head, toward the cabin, helping carry firewood. 4 trips. By sunset, enough wood for a month. They collapse inside the cabin. She cooks a feast that night. His fish, her potatoes. Partners eat together. She falls asleep in her chair, wakes to find the bear curled at her feet, warming them. Wolves howl outside. Misha's head snaps up. He moves to the door. Guardian. A wild bear is guarding her door, and she is not afraid. A month passes. Their routine flows like water. Cook, hunt, share, rest. He lets her lean against him when she's tired. 300 kilos of warm pillow. He lets her lean against him when she's tired. 300 kilos of warm pillow. She reads aloud from old books. He listens, or at least his ears twitch. February. -102 outside. Inside, warm. They're alive. Together. Nadezhda coughs. Once. Twice. Something tightens in her chest. By evening, she's burning with fever. Can't stand. In Siberia, alone, illness kills. She can't reach the stove. The fire is dying. If it goes out, the cold takes them both. Misha watches the dying fire. Watches Nadezhda. Something working behind those dark eyes. Then Misha stands. Walks to the woodpile. Lowers his head. He carries a log to the stove. Drops it into the embers. The fire catches. The fire catches. The cabin warms. A bear just saved her life. Through the night, every time the fire dims, Misha feeds it. Log by log. 3 days the fever holds her. 3 days the bear keeps the fire alive and fish by her bed. The fever breaks. She opens her eyes. Misha is right there, watching, waiting. She puts her hand on his head. You ridiculous, wonderful bear. She recovers slowly. Misha never leaves her side. Patient as stone. By the end of the week, she's on her feet, weak, but alive. Because of a bear. Spring is still weeks away, but the worst is behind them. They survive February, together. March arrives. The days grow slightly longer. The cold eases by 2 degrees. Almost nothing, but enough. Misha starts spending more time outside. His walks grow longer. The forest calls. Nadezhda watches from the doorway. She knows what's coming. She's always known. But not yet. Not today. Today he comes back, drops 2 fish at the door, walks inside. Some days he doesn't come back until dark. She waits. Lamp in the window. She starts leaving the door slightly open, so he can come in without waking her. One night he doesn't come back at all. She barely sleeps, pacing, watching. Dawn, scratching at the door. He's back, covered in snow, smelling of river and forest. She scolds him, like a grandmother scolds a child. Where have you been? He blinks at her, but she knows. Each day he's more wild. Each day the forest pulls harder. The snow begins to recede, just at the edges. Winter's grip loosening. Misha finds something in the forest, returns agitated, pacing, grunting. Nadezhda follows him outside, against every instinct, because she trusts him. 100 meters into the trees, a metal trap, snapped shut. Poacher's trap. These traps caught Misha. Now there are more, set near her home, near her bear. She spends the day springing them, every trap she can find, 11 in total. She burns the traps in her stove. Nobody touches my bear. Days later, the poacher comes. A man. Snowmobile. Rifle. Nadezhda sees him from the window. A stranger. The first human she's seen in 5 months. Misha is out in the forest. Unaware. Vulnerable. The poacher sees tracks. Bear tracks. Fresh. He unslings his rifle. Nadezhda is already moving, pulling on her coat, grabbing her husband's old shotgun from above the door. She hasn't fired a gun in 11 years. But some things you don't forget. She steps outside, into the cold, toward the sound of the snowmobile. She finds the poacher, standing over Misha's tracks with his rifle aimed into the trees. She raises the shotgun. Those are my traps you took. He turns, sees a grandmother with a gun. He laughs. Go home, grandmother. She doesn't lower the gun. Then Misha appears, behind the poacher. 300 kilos of healed, healthy, angry bear. The poacher turns, sees the bear. The rifle shakes in his hands. Misha drops to all fours, charges 3 steps, roars. The sound shakes snow from trees. The poacher drops the rifle, runs, sprints for his snowmobile. Doesn't look back. The snowmobile screams away, into the forest, gone. Nadezhda lowers the shotgun. Her hands are shaking now, adrenaline she hasn't felt in decades. Misha walks to her, lowers his massive head, presses it against her chest. She cries, for the first time in years, standing in the snow. Holding a bear's head, they walk home together, side by side, through the forest, through the snow, as equals. She She picks up the poacher's rifle from the snow. Another weapon for the wall, just in case. That night, she cleans both guns by the fire. Misha sleeps closer than ever. Days pass. The poacher doesn't return. But she keeps the guns loaded, and the bear keeps watch. March deepens. The light changes. Longer days. Something in the air shifts. Misha feels it before she does. Spring approaching. The restlessness returns. Deeper this time, he starts sleeping outside. First one night, then two, then most nights. Nadezhda understands. She's always understood. Wild things aren't ours to keep. One morning, she opens the door. 2 sets of tracks. Bear tracks. Misha wasn't alone. He found a mate. Spring does that. Life insists on continuing. Nadezhda watches from the doorway. She doesn't cry. She smiles. He's alive. He's free. He's loved. He comes back one more time. That evening, alone, stands at the door. She kneels, like she did the first night, and touches his fur. She presses her forehead against his. 2 breaths. One cold, one warm. Both alive. She stands, steps back inside. The bear watches her go, then turns toward the forest. He walks, doesn't look back, because if he did, he might not leave. Or maybe he does. Once, at the tree line, a glance over his shoulder. Then he's gone. Into the darkness, into the trees, into the life he was born for. Nadezhda closes the door, slowly, quietly, like closing a chapter of the best book she's ever read. She sits in her chair. The cabin feels enormous now. All 12 feet of floor space. She doesn't cry. She makes tea, sits, drinks it, and remembers. Outside, the wind still howls. But Nadezhda is different now. The silence doesn't weigh the same. Spring comes. Really comes. Snow melting. River breaking free. Green emerging from white. Nadezhda opens the door one morning. The air is different. Almost warm.
Spring
minus
has
30.
finally arrived.
Practically summer. She cleans the cabin. Washes the floor where the bear lay. His smell lingers. She finds bear fur in the corners, in her blankets, in her hair. She doesn't wash it all away. Weeks pass. The snow continues melting. Life returns to the taiga. Nadezhda sits outside for the first time in months, on a wooden bench, in actual sunlight. She thinks about Misha every day. Wonders where he is, if he's happy. One morning in May, she hears it, a sound at the door, scratching. She doesn't grab the axe this time. She runs to the door, throws it open. Misha, standing in spring mud, bigger somehow, healthier, and not alone. 2 cubs, small, round, tumbling over each other at his feet. Nadezhda drops to her knees, not from weakness, from joy. Misha walks to her, presses his head against her chest, just like before. The female bear watches from a distance, cautious, but not afraid, Misha told her. Somehow. The cubs approach, sniff Nadezhda's boots. One climbs into her lap. She laughs. For the first time in how long? She can't remember, but she laughs. The bear family stays 3 days, sleeping outside the cabin,
Here you go, my dear.
but always near.
And you let
Nadezhda cooks for all of them. Every fish she has, she doesn't care. On the 3rd morning, Misha leads his family toward the forest. Time to go. He stops, looks back, one long look. She raises her hand. Then they're gone, into the green, into the life that spring demands. Nadezhda stands in her doorway, spring air on her face, not empty, full. She knows they'll come back. Every spring, she'll be here.
The
Summer
taiga
comes.
is alive again.
The river runs.
This is good.
Nadezhda plants her garden. She tells no one about the bear. This story belongs to her and to Misha. Autumn returns. She prepares wood, water, fire. And she leaves the door unlatched. First snowfall. She sits by the fire, listening to the wind, waiting, then scratching. At the door, she opens it. Misha, bigger, scarred, beautiful.
Oh,
And behind
you little
him,
mischief
2
makers.
yearling cubs. He walks inside, like he never left, lies down in his spot. Sighs. The cubs explore, sniffing everything, knocking over her water bucket. She doesn't mind. That night, her cabin holds 3 bears and 1 grandmother. She sleeps better than she has in years. Outside, the storm builds again, -96, the coldest place on earth. But inside, the fire burns, the bears sleep, and Nadezhda smiles. This is Siberia, where survival isn't a choice, where the cold takes everything. But sometimes it gives something back.